Well, hello and welcome to the newly renamed British Football Comic Podcast.
Woo!
Hey!
Hooray!
Hey,
Rest assured, nothing else has changed. You will still get questionable impressions from me, but also the usual informative British football comic content from the rest of the team. We were going to move away from Champ Towers as well, but with David Skew still stuck in the cupboard and level 42 still stuck in the lift, newly announced that the building is of cultural importance. So the champ name lives on in the tower
yes.
name. Isn't that lush?
Oh, it's listed. Is it listed? Hopefully, it'll be listed, won't it? It'll be like some, yeah. So it
Yeah,
should. So it should.
I mean, when we get to episode 1,000 and they look back, oh yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about either. So let's crack on. Did you like that intro, by the way?
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Let, let's crack
brilliant.
on with it. Brilliant. I'll get it out in a minute. Oh, I'll say. So let's crack on with episode 123 as I introduce the team and ask them what their sections will be about tonight. Of course, we will start off with the social media feedback, but then the sections begin. Bygone, good evening to you. Neil Bygone Berrigan, how are you? And what are you doing tonight?
I'm very well, thank you. Tonight is the Roy of the Rovers winter special, and I'm going to feature the Roy of the Rovers main story from that. And I might also have a look at a couple of the quiz questions as requested by Adrian Law. I think it was in one of the feedbacks from the previous time I reviewed the winter special. I might test the team with a couple of questions from that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Lovely. I'm really looking forward to that. And then we'll move on to the second section, which will be from the man they call the tangential one because he goes off on a tangent. It's only the tangent man himself, Paul Tangent Richardson. What are you doing and how are you, Paul?
I'm very well, thank you, Podfather. And I can assure you, I'm doing When Stories Collide, and there's going to be loads of tangents actually in it.
Oh, God.
So yeah, we shall wait till I get there.
Excellent, excellent. And the final section this evening will be from the legend himself. It's Mute Button Matt Richards. How are you today, Mute? And what are you doing?
What are you doing? Hello, Goal, aka the Podfather. Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. Yeah, looking forward to today's show. I am doing, if we've got enough time, and I think we probably will, but I'm going to do part 2.1 of the Blackie Gray story, which will go on probably for about 60 years, like Blackie did himself.
Yes.
It went down well in the social media feedback I hear, but look forward to that in a second. I really enjoyed the first Blackie Gray part. So yeah, looking forward to that. I need to stop saying looking forward to that as well.
I look forward to that.
Thank you very much. As has been mentioned, my name is Gull, also known as the Podfather, special confidant of Dot Cotton in the corridor of uncertainty. I'll say good evening from me as well. There you go. So that's what's happening tonight. But first, here we go. It's time for the social media feedback with me, Bud Matt Richards.
Thank you very much, Goal, aka Podfather. Okay, you're right. So, first of all, with the social media feedback, we have Trevor Melvin. So, Goal, do we have a theme tune for Trevor?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, fine. We'll crack on regardless. Right. Okay. So, from Melvin himself, we have the UK's #1 football comic podcast in rebrand controversy. During the closing stages of what was another stunning performance from the Champ Towers team, Tangential One, together with Mute Button Matt, made a dramatic announcement that the pod will be changing its name. The sensational news caused Dot to drop a tray of tea and biscuits in the corridor of uncertainty. Ooh, I say, my voice. Thank you. Which led to claims that the Podfather hadn't actually given the move his podfatherly blessing. In fact, Tangent was heard to say to the mutester, "I thought you phoned him." Rumours are therefore now rife that Bygone Berrigan and Golden Ian, who are unavailable for its latest fixture, have also been kept in the dark about the title Shake Up. Whilst I'm aware that there are many muses, including the pod's own Chocky Bicky expert, Bygone Berrigan. Bygone, what Chocky Biscuit actually? It's like Tangent. What Chocky Biscuit were you on tonight?
It was it's a jive.
It's a jive.
It's a jive.
wow.
It's like a quick snip off. But
We're after we're after sponsorship. So if Jive are interested, then please sponsor.
well, it's
Get in touch with us.
Aldi. I think it's Aldi. Or there's
Okay.
other popular shit.
You know, he's going for the big sponsors now. He's
going
dropped
for that,
Jive
okay.
straight away. The mention of sponsorship, and he's like, "Oh, let's mention Aldi."
If they want to send me anything off the middle aisle, I'd be more than happy.
Looking at your clothes, I think they've been doing that for years, haven't they? Anyway, back to the
middle
social
aisle,
media
though.
feedback.
The middle aisle, you say there, Bygone. I mean, where do you want it from, though? Do you want it from, the bottom or higher?
Not the pet section.
Okay, let's just carry on, shall we? Right. Okay. Yeah. Bygone Berrigan, so the Chocky Bicky expert, Bygone Berrigan, who steam therapy after Marathon became Snickers in 1990, has to be said that the new moniker for our beloved football comic podcast fits the bill perfectly and does exactly what it says on the tin.
Lovely.
Thanks, Melchester. So brace yourself, musers. The podcast, formerly known as Champ We Are United, will now be called the British Football Comic Podcast. We know who you are. We know what you are. The British Football Comic Podcast. We know what you are. Brilliant.
Lovely.
Namegate shouldn't, however, be allowed to overshadow the tangential one's hot shot Hamish commentary or Mute Button Matt's This Is Your Football Comic Life Blackie Gray feature. Both pod stars gave Champ towering displays. Despite Prince's Park's match taking place in Brazil, surprisingly perhaps, the tangential one didn't attempt the long, breath-defying and iconic goal shout made famous by the South American commentator Milton Leite. Instead, Tangent kept his commentary colloquial, "Akaidanu, eat your heart out, Archie McPherson," and actually managed to bring a tear to the eye of mostly Scottish listeners as he delivered a cast iron performance that was at times as thunderous in volume as Hot Shot, leaving the toe of Hamish Balfour's right boot. Meanwhile, Mute Button Matt began his magnum opus on Roy Race's ever faithful wingman, or should I say inside right, Blackie Gray. Given that Melchester's dynamic duo were joined at the hip like Batman and Robin for some 5 decades, it could take Millwall Mute at least 50 episodes to present all of the various shades of Mr. Gray.
Very good.
Oh, very good. Very good. It'll be an enthralling look at one of football comics' most enduring characters, though with Blackie's off-field escapades sometimes even topping those on it. His romantic infatuation with French film star Suzanne Cerise in the mid-60s will definitely stir the old grey matter. By Jupiter, different class, lads. Oh, and he finishes, late news, unconfirmed reports claim that Champ Towers is to be renamed the Ministry of British Football Comics. Watch this space, musers. Well, we've just confirmed, Trevor, that actually, Champ Towers, it's listed now. Although clearly now we're open to sponsorship. If Aldi or Jive want to get in touch, then we can change it to the Aldi Champ Towers. We're open for any form of bribery, biscuits or money.
Well, I mean, we had to stay put, really, because first of all, the things I said earlier on, and also, we've got to keep Collector's Corner, even though we're in a round studio and none of us are in that studio. But there you go.
Brilliant. Right, moving on to the next feedback is from Adrian Lord. The House of Lord. Theme tune, goal?
No.
All right, okay. So he's sorry about that, Adrian. We'll just crack on anyway. Adrian Lord, House of Lord. Just listened to the last 2 podcasts. Really enjoying the Blackie Gray story and also the Prince's Park tour of Brazil. I can remember that story. I'm a bit concerned about the name change. Couldn't you have just called it Dave?
Dave, oh no, forget it.
Okay, all right. We have. Seriously though, I think the name change makes sense and could attract new listeners. Yet we just need to get one or two more. Well, that'll do. Keep up the good work. Episode 121 was good too. Enjoyed Neil's input with his single appearance in a Melchester shirt. It was also nice to see United get promotion. I hope they can stay. I hope they can stay up and win a trophy too. Yeah, so I'm sure Tangent will pick up the United story again, won't we? In weeks to come.
Yeah, in a couple of pods, I think. Yeah, definitely.
With us.
Look forward to that. Look forward to that. George Prince. Is it worth me even asking now for a
No, yeah, you can ask now.
okay. Oh, brilliant. Okay. George Prince, theme tune?
No.
Okay, right. Okay. Fine. Okay. It should shorten the pod a bit anyway, shouldn't it? So that's good, isn't it?
We've already saved 10 minutes.
So yeah. Especially when you do the 12-inch versions. Oh, I say. George says, so he put two messages on the Facebook page. He said, I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm hoping you're not finishing and merging with another podcast. At least it's not great news for all listeners. That's what it's usually meant. Well, and then he follows it up with, just listened. That was indeed news. It does make sense to rename it. You cover lots of different football comics. It was fun hearing about Blackie Gray. Another fun episode. Thank you. And thank you, George. I'm just sorry we couldn't repay you with a theme tune, but he's in a bit of a mood tonight. So let's just tread carefully. On to X. Uncle Ernie. Hi, Uncle Ernie. He said, I've yet to watch, but does this episode have a mention of a broad cream type product? Obviously based back in the 50s. And I'm sure they all wore broad cream. I think everybody did, didn't they, back then?
Yeah.
Men, women,
Deadshot King
babies.
did.
Deadshot King did. Cat Star. Oh dear, you can walk down the street without the smell of broad cream. Anyway, okay. Thank you very much, Uncle Ernie. Hope you're well. And then we move finally to YouTube. We have our great friend Nikos. He says, I wish you a happy new year with more football comic stuff. Thank you, Nikos. Hope you're well. And also, of course, feedback won't be feedback with our good friend down under, Aussie Lee. So here we go. Lee Coulson.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry. God, sorry. It's a bit embarrassing. After everybody else is getting a theme tune, it'd feel terrible, wouldn't he? Have you got a theme tune for? Have you got a theme tune for Lee?
No, not at all.
Sorry about that, Lee. Anyway, yeah. So Lee says, firstly, it was exciting news to hear about the name change for the podcast, and well worth the build-up by you all. It's a great new title and one which encapsulates well the wide range of publications and topics you cover now. The show has come a long way from those early episodes. Yes, anybody who's listened to them. I'm sure it will. No, they're great. I do love them. I'm sure it
from episode 1.
Okay. I'm sure it will run for years ahead with such a wealth of material to dive into. It definitely will. Well, that's what you plan to do anyway, Lee. And speaking of which, secondly, really enjoyed part 1 of Matt's deep dive into the life and career of Blackie Gray. Certainly going to be an epic. It was me who requested it. So thanks so much for tackling such a prominent character in comic history. Second only to Roy himself from Melchester. And how mad was the Roy of the Rovers storyline in the 50s? Makes the 80s look almost insane. And like Bodie from the Professionals, I didn't realise for years that Blackie even had a first name. And that was William too. And he finally finishes, does the Roy Race School Days strip from the 80s annuals contradict the timeline in the main comics too? Perhaps we will find out later. Well, yeah, wow. It does contradict those storylines in the School Days. But yeah, I think I've covered that vaguely before, but we'll probably cover it again anyway. But thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lee. Thanks for everybody for your feedback, and I hope you really appreciated the effort which Gull's put into the theme tunes. Makes you feel extra special. Gull, are you going to finish off with any special theme tune?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, in that case, it's back to you. Go.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it is back to me. But shall I tell you a secret why there are no theme tunes?
No.
Oh, please do tell. Listen, do you want to know a secret? Yeah, go on, tell us.
Well, the irony is you singing kind of deflates what I'm about to say, but that's fine. You see, because I thought we were moving away from Champ Towers initially, you know what I did? I ended our music license and I haven't renewed it in time. I haven't renewed it in time for tonight's episode. Open brackets. Thanks for singing there, Matt, for ruining that joke. Close brackets. I've been planning that joke all week. Thank you very much. No, seriously, all of the theme tunes will be back with a vengeance next week. So there you go. That was a long, useless joke that didn't turn out well after all.
Well, that's all right with me because I didn't say it, so it's good.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Back to me.
Yes,
Oh, thank
to
you.
you, to me.
To you. So thank you very much for the social media feedback. We always appreciate it. Okay, now it's time. Here we go. Oh, yes. Ooh, under starters orders. Here we go. It's time for the first section of the night. It's over to the man they call Neil Bygone Berrigan. It's Neil Bygone Berrigan.
So this is from the Roy the Rovers Winter Special in 1989. So a few pods ago, I did review one of the winter specials, and it was the 1988 version. So today's content is going to come from the 89 version. They did release, I think it was three of these winter specials, and I think they're absolutely fantastic. So this one's the Roy the Rovers Winter Special, and sometimes you can see them on the eBay sites, and they very rarely come up. And if you haven't got one, just keep an eye out for them because they are absolutely fantastic. The stories in them as well. So this one is, what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to cover the Roy the Rovers main story, and in this special, when you look through it, none of the stories are actually in colour. They're all in black and white, which I find amazing. The only thing that is in colour are the actual pictures of actual real football during, obviously, the snapshots that they use for goals and player features, but none of the stories are in colour, which I think is absolutely great because on the Roy the Rovers main story, it really works really well in black and white. But I'll just read you through. So the story starts, and it's Roy the Rovers, it's 1989. And there's a string of unfortunate incidents involving three of the Roy the Rovers players, and it starts off with Terry Spring getting hacked down, and he looks like he gets injured. Then Bruno Johnson's also injured, and obviously Johnny Dexter gets sent off. And this apparently leaves Roy with a big problem because we all know Roy does operate on quite a small squad of like 12 or 13 players, not like modern football now where there's 18 players and things like that. But so he calls an emergency meeting on Monday morning for his backroom staff, and the only one I know who's in there is Mervyn Wallace. I don't know none of the other two. They're not faces to recognise from his backroom team. But he's saying that there's two key players on the injury list, and he's got another suspended, and two more are out with flu. We've got a Littlewoods Cup fourth round match on Thursday against the Holders Tynecastle. So that's a bit of knowledge there, didn't it? We know the 1988 League Cup winners in this world was Tynecastle.
Lancaster.
Yeah, I think Melchester won the championship, I'm sure, in 88. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
it did.
And this, as I say, it must be his physio says the reserves are depleted as well, Roy. They've got a pretty tough away match on Wednesday evening. Now, if it was me and I had a reserve team, I wouldn't have that wouldn't bother me. They've got a reserve tough match. I'd be like, no, the priority is the Littlewoods Cup, but there must be a really big game in the Midlands Cannon Second League, whatever they must be in. So Roy swings into action then. And the most famous player manager in British football swings into action and he starts making some phone calls and he's obviously trying to get some covers a player. And this reminds me of that time when he was after a goalkeeper and he was phoning all different managers.
Yeah.
And there was Victor Boscovich, and it would have
Yeah.
been brilliant if he would have been one of the managers that he'd actually phoned to see if he could get another player from him. So he's like, "No, Roy, sorry, we can't. I'd like to help you, Roy, but you know all our players are cup tied and they're not for sale." And it would have been great if he'd have been trying to find like a Paco Diaz or somebody else he could bring back into the team for this match.
Yeah.
And he said, and then
Some
he
of the old
says
players.
this, yeah, because the next slide it says this calls for desperate measures, and I'm thinking it's a winter special. Is he going to bring in an old player, that you can remember? Anyway, he makes a phone call and he's phoned Trevor Shelby, who's manager of a fourth division Greatley Borough team. And he was amazed at Roy's call. And he says, "Hey, you want Wally Weston? He's not cup tied. He's fit, but he's only been playing for the reserves. Are you sure?" And he says, "Absolutely sure, Trevor. I'll get the club secretary to arrange the loan right away." And then the news breaks in Melchester. Read all about it. Wally Weston is joining the Rovers. And the fans are quite shocked. They're like, "I don't believe it. Not Wally the Weller." And they're like, "Racy must be mad. I'd have loaned him my granny if I'd known Rovers were that hard up." So obviously it sets the picture that this Wally Weston is a player, been playing in reserves, and it looks like he's going to be drafted into this first team match. I mean, I was available. You know,
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was just going to say. I was going to say as well. I can't believe.
it just shows you the depth Roy goes to and the hatred he has towards me because he didn't even consider me. Anyway, moving on. And I
Well,
scored.
he didn't want anybody better looking than him, and obviously he got a Bruce Willis lookalike. You know, it's
I was
take
otherwise
some of the
engaged
shine away
anyway.
from Roy. Yeah,
I was
okay.
in Crete with Penny. Anyway, the Melchester players were amazed too. It's totally side-blinded them. They're like, "What is Roy playing at?" And even Blackie's like, looks confused. He's there holding the ball, and Nobby's like, "The press have probably got it all wrong as usual. He's not joining us." But this time, however, the press were 100% correct, and the next Roy's there shaking Molly's hand and welcoming him to Melchester Rovers. And over a cup of tea, Wally says, "To tell you the truth, boss, I was shocked as everyone else when you called me." He said, "I've got a feeling that you're the right man for the job, Wally, and I'm going to tell you why." And then next thing we cut, and we're actually walking out, and it's the big match on the Thursday, which is a strange day for a cup game on a Thursday. Usually they were like Wednesdays. It must be TV or something like that. So it says Thursday evening, Mel Park, and an unfamiliar Rovers line up and run onto the pitch. And they're like, "Look at old Wally. It's a wonder they could find a shirt big enough for him." And that to me, like echoes that what's he called, Neil Razor Ruddock, because he was they used to say things about him that his shirts were massive and different things like that. And this fella looks the same kind of build. He's a massive, big built chap. And he says they're also playing untried youngsters. Templeman, Fox, and James were in for a tough time. I don't remember any of these names coming through, so this is just obviously just a one-off.
Made up. Yeah.
Then the game starts, and straight away, Tynecastle are bombarding the Melchester penalty area right from the start. And the striker's through. He's completely unmarked. He shoots. It must be a goal, but no. Wally's there on the line. He read the move and he jumps in on the line and he heads the ball off the line. The ball comes fired straight back, and good old Andy Styles tips the ball over the bar. But everyone thinks that Rovers are on borrowed time. Next thing you know, the ball's played into the box, and Wally Weston intercepts a Tynecastle pass, neatly chests the ball down, and the next thing he turns towards his old goalmouth, and it's delivered a disastrous back pass. And Roy's
Oh, no.
shouting, "Wally, no, no!" Andy's not ready for it, but the striker intercepts. Tynecastle's gonna pounce. It's there, 1-0. What a Wally, just before the break. 1-0 to Tynecastle. And they're like, "Get back to the fourth division where you belong, Weston." And in the dressing room, it's 1-0, and there's a dejected Wally. Wally. He's the dejected Weston sat there, and he's like, "Sorry, Roy, I don't know what came over me. Alex, I suppose you'll pull me off now," which is harsh punishment for a dodgy back pass. And he's like, "No, Wally, you're
Thank you.
still here. It's a different era, isn't it? You're still here to do a job, remember? There's still 45 minutes to go. This game's not over yet. Not by a long way." And then but the second half starts and Tynecastle are continuing to put the pressure on. But next thing you know, Wally looks like he's found his feet. He's dived in, made a great challenge, and this is more like it now. The ball, Wally's clearance was collected by Brian Templeman, the new youngster. He passes it on to Kevin Clark, who floats a low ball into the Doncaster penalty area where Roy chests it down, turns in one move, and then shoots, and it's 1-1. Brilliant goal
Get
by
in.
Roy Race.
Get
And it
in,
is really
yes.
good skill there. He brings it down, turns round and smacks it in. And then just as the teams are lining up, Roy goes over to Wally and he just says, "Wally, you move up and I'll drop back." And he says, "Okay, Roy." And I think this is going back to the conversation that Roy must have had with Wally when he signed him. But the fans aren't aware of this. It's like, what's Racy playing at? Roy and Big Wally have swapped positions. It's amazing. I don't believe it. So anyway, next thing you know, Roy's playing centre half and he's soon doing his stuff, coming out, controlling the ball and intercepting passes. And next thing you know, he pulls out the ball and they're like, "Do something with it, Racer." Roy plays a perfectly weighted pass to the feet of Wes Harper. Young Wes jinked his way through the midfield, dribbling through 3 or 4 players, and they're like, "Well done." But he's pushed out wide, drags across into the box, a high floating ball, and everyone's like, "Watch the big man, lads." And Wally's there darting in. And next thing you know, the ball hits his head, and it's goal. It's 1-1. Wally is one of the tallest players apparently in the divisions, and it's hit his head and it's a goal. Get in there. And that's how the scoreline remained. It stayed at 2-1. And everyone's like, "Well done, Wally. You've took it through to the next round. Well done, Wally the Welly." And then the TV guys want to interview him.
Wally the Welly.
Wally the Welly. And it says, "Wally Weston, what a comeback into the big time. How do you feel?" "Well, Brian, I'm obviously over the moon, but I was as sick as a parrot when their first goal went in. Your gamble paid off, Roy. But what made you bring Wally Weston to Melchester in the first place?" And he says, "I've been in the long game a long time, Brian, and I've got a good memory. And I thought back to the summer of 1980. Rovers had won the championship and we were on top of the world. Then we played at Greatley Borough in a testimonial match. And this is why it's one of my favourite special stories, because they have the reminiscing and they go back and they're playing in the goalie kit from 1980. So he
Yeah,
remembers then. And
yeah, but go on, carry on. But
no, go on.
sorry. Well, they didn't have the goal kit until 1981.
Well, this is what I was going to bring up after this.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. But,
Sorry.
you know, Roy has been in football a long time, and sometimes I think he's a little bit mixed
Well,
with his memory.
I
Anyway.
forget what I was wearing in 1980 as well.
Yeah, and he's in black and white as well, so it's probably just
Yeah.
a bit dodgy. But anyway, Trevor Shelby had just started as Borough's manager, and Big Wally Weston was their centre back with hair then. He gave me a pretty tough time, even though it was just a friendly match. But we were 1-up at half time. Then in the second half, Trevor Shelby pulled a master stroke by switching Wally to centre forward. "You switch now, okay, boss." Next thing you know, the sudden switch took us completely by surprise. Before we knew it, Wally had scored twice to win the match. The champions had been beaten by a 4th division outfit. I'm glad to say I've never forgotten that game, and they both finished them by smiling at each other there. But this, as you were going to say, and I thought it myself, they wasn't in that kit then, but it was only a friendly. And I think they were wearing a prototype for the kit to try it out.
Oh, like they do now, don't they?
Yeah,
often on
I
the
think
last
they were
day of the
just trying it
season, they
out.
wear the new kit. So
that's the way I've looked at it.
Did Roy tell you that then when you went for that one game? Did he tell you that?
Yeah, that again, like this, what I'm wearing now. The goalie kit I've got is a match-worn shirt from this 4th division game.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But I think
Gosh,
it's
it makes sense.
I think it's a nice little story because it ends there. We never heard of Wally again. All 3 lads that have come in, Fox, Templeman, and James, just like me, they must have won a competition, got to play for the race for the Roy's Melchester, and never played again. But I meet up with them. I meet up with Templeman, Fox, and James, and Wally. Wally's 80 now, but he's regales us with stories and things like that. We all meet up in our little club.
It's
You
nice
meet
to
up
have
with
friends, isn't it?
the gangster granddad.
Granddad. He's a nice guy, Wally. He's big. He's massive now. He's put on about 4 or 5 stone since then. Yeah, but he's got a little shopping carrier, like a little people carrier thing. It's nice.
Maybe get Wally on.
We'll have to get him on,
Would he
yeah.
come on the pod? Would he come on?
I think we could arrange a little interview with him. Definitely.
Bully, hello.
Do you know though, with him being had a lot of headers, it's not been good for him. No.
Okay.
Do you know what? Thank you for that, Bygone Berrigan. But I think I know why Roy went to that 4th division team.
Oh, go on.
Yeah. So before Johnny Dexter went to Melchester, he was obviously with the Burnside Athletic of the 4th division.
Yeah.
And just to tick the box of Victor Boscovich as well, he was manager, wasn't he? Of Burnside Athletic. So I think Roy. Johnny Dexter said to Roy, "Well, look, there's just a good, he's a good player. Get in touch with Victor Boscovich. He'll be able to tell you of a good player and agree with it and all of that, So there you go.
Love it. We can make our own cannon. It's top.
Yeah. I mean, It's normally Redders that used to be able to make those links, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
quite proud of that.
we're learning. So that's it. That's the story, and as I say, it's in the winter special from 1989. It's a great little story, and the artwork's fantastic as well. And it's got a bit of reminiscing in it, which I like as well. But yeah, fantastic. So that's it.
Like
Good
like
stuff.
you said earlier, it's a jolt, isn't it, to see that era strip, Wes Harper, Bruno Johnson, but not in colour. It's strange.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I really, and I like Wes Harper as well. Wes Harper's a good name. I like Terry Spring. I really like Terry Spring as well, but he's not featured only in one panel. But yeah, brilliant self-contained story. I hope you enjoyed it.
Excellent. Oh,
Nice.
yeah, I did very much. Thank you very much, Bygone Berrigan.
No worries.
Hiya.
Bye.
So, bye. So, yeah. Bye. So let's move on to the next section. Looking forward to this as well. It's time for the man, the legend. Oh, tell you what, you need a seatbelt when you're listening to to Tangent. It's only Tangent. Tangent, over to you.
Thanks, Podfather. Let's see what I can do here. Right, so little feature called When Stories Collide. So I was just thinking that this is a subject that I see often talked about on the Facebook groups, obviously mainly on the Roy the Rovers group, because that was the comic with multiple stories, and everybody wanted to see back in the day when they were reading these issues. Melchester Rovers take on Johnny Dexter's Danefield United, or the Marx Brothers, Kings Bay. But of course, it never happened. But then on the odd occasion, teams did actually play against each other or feature in other stories. That said, though, here's my main recollections. Normally, they were exhibition or friendly games. So a few that spring to mind, and I've sort of done a little bit of research. You've got the Marx Brothers, Roy the Rovers edition, 2nd of August 1980, Stockbridge versus Kings Bay, which was a friendly. But of course, if you think about it, at the time, really, that's not two stories. It was the two characters. At the time, Terry Marks was playing for Stockbridge and Steve Marks was playing for Kings Bay. So still not quite what we really wanted. But then back to the Marx Brothers, and this time it's the 20th of September 1980, and Stockbridge take on an all-stars team. Now, this one is interesting. We've mentioned this. The all-stars team had Gordon Stewart in goal, Dave Ellis of Kings Bay, Duncan Mackay, Vic Guthrie of Melchester Rovers, Johnny
Mackay.
Dexterwood, Mackay, sorry, I've done it again, Prince's Park. He's at it all over the place. Johnny Dexter, of course, back then would have been at Danefield. Jeff Giles, Ian Turner of Kings Bay, Steve Marks of Kings Bay. Interestingly, Mighty Mouse of Tottenford Rovers, and then Roy Race and Blackie Gray up front. So there we did see characters from other stories taking part in a match there to raise money for Stockbridge. Then you've got I know one of your favourite stories, Goal, the Legend, in the edition 2nd of February 1985. And the Legend, the main character, Da Silva, Agostino Carlos Henrique Da Silva, he's a famous footballer, but now he wants to move to England, and he's organised an all-stars team to take on Melchester Rovers at Wembley. So again, we sort of see Melchester Rovers in another story. The Chesley brothers, I didn't really research this, but I'm sure they played against each other. But again, similar to the Marx brothers, although the story was split, it's the same story. It would have been Castleburn United, Castleburn.
Jack and Jimmy, you mean?
Jack and Jimmy, yeah. So, and again, in essence, it's the same story. Then the other ones that I kind of remember is Johnny Dexter, when he was in Dexter's Dozen, Burnside Athletic got drawn away to Danefield United in the 4th round of the Milk Cup. That was Roy the Rovers edition, 4th of January 1986. But of course, the hard man was, that was the new story. So Danefield were no longer in a featured story. It was just Johnny playing against his old teammates. The only time I really remember this happening in the DC world, or as we like to refer to it as the United verse, would be in the Goals of Jimmy Grant's story, Victor edition number 1460, which was the 11th of February 1989, when United played Alton Rovers, which was the club that Jimmy Grant was player coach of. Again, that was a 4th round FA Cup match. But once more, the We Are United story had been dropped. So it was just Jimmy Grant playing against a former team. But I mention all of those, as you know, I like to try and give my features a bit of a build up. And of course, mainly for any of our listeners that might recollect some other matches that I've missed. I haven't mentioned the Melchester Rovers against Walford Rovers stories that happened when Roy left the club, again, because it's the same featured story.
Just the international one, wasn't it? Did you mention that? Yes.
The international one?
When Roy played,
1978.
yeah, when he had like Nipper and different ones.
Yeah, apologies. Yes, of course, that was other characters featuring in the team as well. So I didn't think of that because it wasn't as such a match, but you are right. Obviously, it's characters from other stories featuring in the Roy the Rover story. So that's another good one indeed. However, I'm going to take you back to Roy the Rovers edition, 16th of January, 1988, I should say, and a story called City. Although the story was called City, City being a non-league team, Carlton City, the main character was Mike Williams. And we're going to join the City with Carlton City drawing 1-1 with third division Braxton City. Okay, how many times can I say City? Mike Williams is on the ball. He's surrounded by Braxton defenders. Williams gets tackled and the loose ball breaks to Dennis Blair, who backs him was it to Clive Kent to hammer home. Yes, for City to score, to go 2-1 up. The City players going crazy. Sorry, I should have mentioned that this was an FA Cup first round game for the non-league team, actually. Sorry. And the players going crazy, swamping the goal scorer. And we're told that after that goal, Braxton were a beaten team and the final whistle sounded soon. Then we see the City players. They've all left their jobs and they're gathered around the radio on Monday listening to the FA Cup draw for the second round. And 41, Weighton will play 26, Carlton City. Amazingly, the only two non-league teams left in the competition will play each other. The players, though, complaining that they've missed out on the glamour tie. But City manager Ted Baker, if we beat Weighton, and I know we can.
Baker.
Ted Baker. Not the Baker's Doven, just Ted
Not
Baker.
Fred Perry. Okay.
Fred Perry, Ted
okay,
Baker.
Yeah.
Sorry, took a bit of time on that one.
Daryl Baker.
Keep going.
The City players have been
Daryl
complaining,
Baker.
of course, that they're in the same league as Weighton. But Ted Baker, if we beat Weighton, and I know we can, we go into the draw with the first division superstars. How do you fancy Man United or Spurs playing on our ground? So that will be something to tell your kids about. Okay, I must admit, I'm not sure I really like that, but the mention of real teams. But of course, I'm sure it was done to try and hammer home the magnitude potentially of a third round draw. So the second round tie, amazingly, this match against Weighton is just covered in 2 panels. And we're informed that the match is a scruffy affair. We see City getting caught offside with a fan shouting out, that's about the 10th time. And then just before the end, we see Mark Williams pass to Kim Jones for a fantastic curling finish, and it sends Carlton into the third round. The Weighton players on the final whistle being really good sports, obviously wanting themselves to have been there, but they're wishing their league compatriots there, Carlton, all the best in the next round. So now we see it's the draw for the third round of the FA Cup, the big one. And well, number 16, Carlton City. Number 8 will play Melchester Rovers. Oh, look at that.
Hey!
Yes, you wanted the big one and we got the biggest. You can see the players celebrating after the news on the radio. And of course, before you know it, the third round day comes round and we're told the board of Carlton City had resisted switching the match to a bigger ground. The Carlton fans and players giving the mighty Melchester Rovers a great welcome as we see Roy Race lead out the Rovers, and the Carlton City players there actually almost giving them a guard of honour, applauding Rovers onto the ground. But we get close to the kick-off now. But City captain Dennis Blair, he meets Roy, says, "Welcome to Carlton. We're honoured to entertain you, but we're going to go all out to beat you." Roy replying, "We wouldn't want it any other way," Dennis. We see Mike Williams' mum and dad take their seats in the stand. But now we're ready for this kick-off. Non-league Carlton City against the mighty Melchester Rovers. And of course, it's Rovers straight on the attack. And they cross swung in, and the young Mark White in the City goal was soon called into action, punching away from a Rovers cross. Tim Weston, the City defender, he's gathered up the loose ball, but he's under pressure from Paxson and Blackie Gray, and he's under. Oh no, he's under here. Back pass. Ollie Olsen's in. Oh, it's a goal. 1-0 to Rovers. Oh, the mighty Melchester showing their first division class straight away in this game to take an early lead. Whoa, come on, City. They need to get their heads up against the mighty Melchester here. Rovers, though, after the kickoff, they're straight back on the attack. And young Mark White, again in the City goal, is soon called into action. And he's, I don't know, well, this commentator's got himself a bit confused as well, actually. But we're going to say he's got the ball out to Mike Williams. He's on the ball. And we see him thinking that Kim Jones is just unmarked on the wing. But as he's thinking that, it's just too late. Johnny Dexter straight in with a robust shoulder challenge, knocking Williams from the ball and gathering the ball. Well, this next bit's quite interesting because the action flashes and it's Mike Williams' mum in the stand and she's not happy. You hooligan Dexter, I'll come down there and sort you out. And can you believe it? Sat next to Mrs. Williams, who's a very famous football manager. He turns round to Mike's mum. Johnny Dexter is the toughest footballer I've ever met. I, the great Boskovic, predict you would come out of the confrontation as the loser. Yes, Victor Boskovic is in the crowd watching this match.
All the stars.
Yes, Mike's mum agrees to give Johnny another chance after those words from the great Victor Boskovic. And we're back to the action and we see Dexter, he's moving through the midfield and he's crossed the ball to Blackie Gray, who's headed forward to Roy Rose, who's in the penalty area there. And Roy is chested it down. Well, now he's got to flicked it up and then he's heading home. It's 2-0 Rovers. What a bit of an amazing individual goal from Rovers. Not kind of goal I've seen before. Roy chests the ball down and then flicks it up to head home past Mark White, and it's 2-0 to the Rovers.
Really, it's a bit showboating. He could have just finished that, couldn't he? He
could have done, but I sometimes, in all fairness to Roy, I think the crowd have come to see some Melchester magic, and that's what Roy has decided to deliver there.
Good point.
Oh, but it's 2-0, and I've got to say, the City players, they look shell-shocked. They really do look like it, but they're in a huddle. And you can see now they're saying that they're 2-0 down. There's nothing to lose now. So they've just got to try and go for it. And, well, do you know what? As we kick off, suddenly the Carlton City players, it's almost as if they've woken up and they're on the move. They're moving forward. They're pressing forward. And it's Captain Dennis Blair on the ball. And he passes it out to Kim Jones, who's a former First Division player himself. Kim dribbling down. He gets it over, gets the ball into the penalty area. Mike Williams, but it's behind him. He's tried an overhead kick. What an effort. Oh, Andy Styles. He makes that look easy. He gets his hands on that ball, just clutches it from under the crossbar. Fantastic effort from young Mike Williams there for City. And, well, City now, they're proving themselves. They're giving Melchester a bit more of a game, but they hold out, and that's the score at half-time. It's 2-0 to Melchester here at the Carlton City ground. And, well, as we start the second half in Rovers, well, like the first half, they're immediately on the attack. And this time it's Roy Race. It's a great shot. Oh, Mark White. Fantastic low down save, both hands behind the ball, claiming that from Roy, denying Rovers a third goal and Race's second in the match. And Mark White, well, this young keeper, he's got some confidence, He's just dropped the ball down on the ground right in front of Roy Race, and he's dribbled past the great. He's dribbled past the legend that is Roy Race. This young keeper, oh, he's going to show what Carlton City are about. He's moving the ball now outside the area, and he's launched it. He's hoofed it up the field. But it's Bruno Johnson's there, and he's headed clear. He's equal to that clearance. But Dennis Blair, the City captain, he's got hold on to the ball. He's latched onto it, and he's fired it low into the Rovers penalty area. It's ricocheted off a couple of ankles there. Oh, the ball's land. Mike Williams, first time ever. Oh, Styles has got a hand to it, but he can't keep it out. It's hit the underside. It's a goal. Mike Williams, What a shot! Andy Styles leaping up, pushes it onto the underside of the crossbar, but the ball's in the back of the net. I can't hear myself in this ground now. The City fans are going crazy, and I can tell you, City manager Ted Black, he's not quite doing a Mourinho, but he's off the bench and he's celebrating. What a fantastic moment for Carlton City and young Mike Williams and all the City fans. But can they? Can they? Surely not. Can they produce a fantastic cup shock? Oh, but now back to the action. And Rovers, they're not happy about conceding that goal. And they're straight back on the attack. And it's Blackie Gray, a fantastic shot. Oh, tipped over. This young keeper from City. He's playing a blinder. He's a very good keeper. It's a corner for Rovers. I'm not sure who's that. He's heading. Goal, Clive Kent. He's hacked it off the goal line. It's nearly a goal from Rovers. Oh, we see he's hacked it clear there. Rovers are back on the attack now, and the City defence, well, they're just flying in tackles, and they've managed to scramble it out of play for another Rovers goal kick. These Rovers attacks, I tell you, as the clock is ticking on, I'm not so sure we're going to get this cup upset. It's another corner for Melchester Rovers, and Rovers swing the ball in. Oh, what a goalkeeper this lad is. I'm not sure if this is just a one-off display here today, but he's caught the corner kick. I mean, he's surrounded by Melchester Rovers forwards. That is a fantastic claim under pressure. And he thinks quickly as well, the young keeper. He's thrown it out to Mike Williams. And Mike's, you can see he's thinking to himself, can he do it again? Can he find something spectacular to get City, well, even more than back into this game? Williams, he's moving forward now with the ball. Guy looks purposeful. But no, the final whistle has sounded. It's a fantastic performance from Carlton City and this young team, but it's not going to be enough. The mighty Melchester Rovers have not succumb to a cup defeat. They will be moving through to the fourth round. But I tell you, it's a cacophony of sound in this stadium. The noise of the Rovers fans celebrating getting into the fourth round, whilst the City fans, though, are celebrating their team's heroic efforts against the giants of Melchester. Now, the Rovers players, I tell you, they have now given the City players a guard of honour, and that's really nice. That's the class of Roy Rovers. I won't have any interruptions here, Bygone, or anything from Brinton or any of that type of stuff. But that's Melchester Rovers showing their class, a guard of honour for this team that really, really took the game to one of the giants of English football here, this non-league club. They've done themselves proud. And as they get off the pitch there, Mike Williams and goalkeeper Mike White, Roy finds them both and he puts his hands on the young player's shoulders. You two youngsters did well. Mark, you're one of the best keepers I've seen in a long time. And you, Mike, will develop into one of the top super strikers. You and all your teammates have ensured that you've put the name Carlton City well and truly on the soccer map. And that is the final panel of When Stories Collide. The great Roy Race and Roy the Rovers, Melchester Rovers, came into the story, which was City. And a little footnote, can you believe that was to be the end of the City story, which culminated there in those words from Roy. Just to the best of my knowledge, a couple of things before I finish on this. I don't think we ever actually hear of Mike Williams and, of course, the young keeper Mark White again, or Carlton City. Interestingly, though, in Roy the Rovers edition, 18th of June, 1988, if you remember, the former Melchester Rovers player, Bruce Pancho Miller, in a summer tournament, six-a-side tournament when Rovers are on tour, he's actually the manager of Carlton Town. Which is interesting. But even more, as we were talking in Bygone's winter special, a bit of continuity here, because in the actual Roy the Rovers story on the 20th of February 1988, now remember Carlton Town, that was June in the same year, but on February 1988, Bruce Pancho Miller, we're told, moves to 3rd Division Dunstan Town. But obviously he moves on by the summer. I just thought that was quite interesting. And I don't ever remember in the City story any mention of Carlton Town either. But there you go. Well,
I love that story, City. I think the artist is Yvonne Hutton.
Yeah, it is.
Who drew Roy the Rovers, and Roy the Rovers is featured here. but different type of Roy the Rovers that she drew.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Well,
Terrible
no, definitely,
Twins.
no, it definitely,
Yeah.
definitely is. It definitely is Yvonne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hutton. Yeah.
1988.
Yeah.
Yeah.
90s, wasn't it? But Terrible Twins, wasn't it, as well? That was
Yeah, she did that as
She
well
was
after.
right. Okay.
later
Yeah,
on.
sure.
And
Fine,
Victor
yeah,
managed them, didn't he, I think?
Yeah.
But I love City Story. I think it was brilliant. Yeah, I used to like it, and because they used to give away a free ticket to a goal of league match, a non-league match.
Yeah,
And
that's right. Yeah.
I never used it because I had nobody local who wanted to go and see. But I'd love that, cutting it out and imagine you bought a comic for 32p or whatever it is, but it's got a free non-league ticket in it. But yeah,
What the one thing I always remember about that story, and of course when they played Rovers and it ended like that, but we always wondered because I'm sure it was kind of the same time. I didn't research this, but Kevin's Chance was around the same time, and of course Kevin Clark.
Yeah.
That story finished, and Melchester Rovers did actually sign. So you can imagine. I do remember when I read that story, and it said it was the end of the City story. I fully expected in a couple of editions' time to see that Rovers had signed Mike Williams and Mark White, the great goalkeeper, but obviously that news never actually came to fruition. So characters consigned to the history books, shall we say.
Yeah. Great as well, good characters.
Yep. So
Go on.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure whether we will explore some of those other matches where sort of exhibitions or the old Danefield United, Alton Rovers United things in future pods, or as I say, if any of the listeners or YouTube viewers are aware of some other matches that I might have missed, let us know. But there you go.
Was the FA Cup reflected in the main Melchester story that season, or was it just not mentioned until after this third round?
That's a very good
I
question.
think they made a reference to it. They make a reference to it in Roy's story, I think, in the main story, and I think they did play on. Is that not the year? What year is that? 88. That's not the year where
That's
they played
88.
Western Villa in the final. I'm trying to remember because they had a semi-final where Roy Race got booked. I don't know if that's the same cup run. They had a final where they got beat, and then they beat Western Villa the year after. I just can't remember.
I can't believe Gracie got booked.
I can't remember. Do you know what? When we were talking, I can't believe it because I found this for the Facebook group, and now I can't find my list of honours. But in '88, actually, yeah, you're right. Melchester Rovers did lose the cup final to Western Villa. Good memory there, Bygone.
Okay.
So yeah, so the FA Cup would have been featured in the story, definitely. Yes.
Yeah, because I think Melchester they beat Western Villa 8-1 or something like that, and then they got beat off them in the final. They had a really good winger.
No, that was that. Not... I thought that was Burnding, wasn't it?
It might
that
be.
Was yeah, but I can't.
My memory's not that good then.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. I don't know. No, that does ring a bell. I might have got the opposition the wrong way round there. Actually, I think you are right. Yeah.
My memory's rubbish, Steve.
Yeah.
That's okay, Podfather. We'll forgive you.
Lovely.
Do you know what? That was absolutely fascinating because I know back in the day, in the old Champion United forum, alongside others, we did accumulate all of the stories that were in the Melchester Rovers, sphere. And there's about 25 different stories in total. I know that's slightly different than what you're talking about, Tangent, but yeah, it's so interesting that so many stories crossed over. And I'd forgotten that Victor made a cameo in this.
Yeah, and it was just the one panel. It was classic, yeah.
I mean,
classic Victor Boscovic.
Even I got two panels in issue 32 of the Champ We United Storyline, if I've not mentioned before. Thank you very much. I enjoyed that.
Has that ever been mentioned?
I don't think so. No, I don't even know what you're talking about. Brilliant, excellent, fantastic. You knocked a couple of vases off my shelf during that, but thank you.
Gave it a go.
Thank you very much. Okie dokie. Right. Are we going on to the last section now? Actually, briefly, just before we do, anyone got anything for Collector's Corner, very briefly?
the next podcast I'll have something.
Yeah, let's do it next time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
Well,
got just purchased the first 17 Royal Rovers issues, which I didn't have. But anyway, yeah. So let's move. He's already put it up on the screen. Look, YouTube viewers, it's time for me button Matt Richards's section, and I'll hand over to him now. Over to you, Mute.
Thank you very much.
Mute.
Thanks, Carl. Okay, so we are, like I said earlier, we're going to do part 2 of the Blackie Gray story, but it's part 2.1 because I'm not going to cover the whole of the 60s. I realize I have to break these down, not into just decades, but probably into, I don't know, every 6 months or something like that. But yeah, so I'll quickly whiz through this, but this is quite a famous story. I think most of our readers probably would have read this going back and looking over it. Whether anybody actually read it in Tiger at the time, I'd be interested to know. But yeah, so on the screen, if you're watching this on YouTube, and I'll describe it if you're not, but we've got a panel there, or a couple of panels there, and let's say it's a week before Melchester Rovers are actually in the European Cup final. So it's the first time they've reached the European Cup final, and they're playing against Netruno, which is an Italian club, but they're in Paris. So I'm guessing the final's actually in Paris. And a few of the players are walking around Paris, enjoying the sights, when all of a sudden they see there's a girl on the ledge of a building, and there's fire coming out of the building. And the 3 players that are there, you've got Mod Muldoon, I think he was like a reserve player. You've got Tubby Morton. You've got Blackie Gray, of course. Blackie Gray is his story. And sorry, there's 4. Roy's there as well. But Blackie spotted this girl on this ledge, and he's just immediately he's gone for, I need to go and rescue that girl. So he's shinning up a drain pipe to get hold of her. And as he's going up there, and Roy's saying, "Oh, maybe we should give him a hand." Suddenly, we see a shot from inside the building which is on fire. And well, actually, we can see there's a camera crew there, and there's a French guy that goes, "Bonjour bleu, who is that intruder? It is Crazy Week. Stop the cameras." And there's a director that goes, "Hey, yes, it's a genuine rescue. I thought the police had supposedly sealed off the streets for this take." So clearly, what there is actually, it's not a real life scene. Nobody's in danger. It's actually a film. So the story moves on, but the film's they're still filming, and the girl jumps from the ledge and dives in. And it must be the Seine, because you can see there you've got the Eiffel Tower in the background. So you can see it's Paris. So she just dives into the river. Blackie dives after her, and also Mod Muldoon, he dives in after her. So 2 of the Rovers players have jumped in after her. And well, so anyway, it's too late to do anything to stop them, but they pull the players out of the river, and all the other Melchester Rovers players by now are kind of on the scene, and they're laughing and they're joking, and they see as Blackie gets pulled out and Mod gets pulled out, and one of the players goes, "Well, if that girl will pull me out, I'll jump in myself. She's a smasher." So on the side of the river, you can see it's Suzanne Cerise. We find out it's Suzanne Cerise, and she's like the film stunt heroine, and she's there talking to the Melchester players, and she's going, it's very brave of you all. The Rovers are magnifique, so handsome. I hope to see you again." And the Rovers players, they're going, "Oh, it's the first time we've ever been thanked for ruining the film. Now I bet they get these wet heroes home." So Roy's there, he's talking to Taff, and he's noticed now that these Rovers players who saw the lovely Suzanne Cerise, they're unusually quiet. And so Taff's going, "Well, there'll be plenty of words when Ben Galloway hears about this. He'll blow his stack, Taff." So anyway, Ben Galloway's there. I don't remember, this is the week before the European Cup final. Ben Galloway, who's the manager obviously at this time, goes, "Oh, flipping film stunt. Are you raving lunatics? Take it for real. Climbs and high dives in the same week as the cup final. Hurling yourselves over buildings to save some cute chick." Chick. I can't imagine Ben Galloway was saying chick, but he did in this story. But then suddenly Blackie turns and goes, "Leave Miss Cerise out of this. I'd die from the Eiffel Tower if she needed me." And Tom Muldoon goes, "Sure." And he'd not be alone. So I'd dive in first. That goes for me, Mr. Galloway, too. Tubby there as well.
Well, they certainly get an eyeful.
Oh.
Ben goes,
Dum.
"Three little
Win.
Sir Galahads. I can see I'll have to keep the lot you've occupied. Football, that's the answer. An exhibition charity match. So to keep them occupied a week before the European Cup final, to keep them away from Suzanne Cerise, he decides to arrange an exhibition charity match. Um, so they're playing a team called Les Nomads. Les Nomads? Yeah, Les Nomads. So you see the crowd there on the panel, and obviously it'll be every other person's got a beret on because obviously they're in France and every other person wears a beret. So the game starts, Rover's on the attack, and Roy's going, "Come on, Blackie, pass. What are you divvying for?" And yeah, Blackie's a bit slow, and he seems to have lost his touch, and the Les Nomads centre half managed to get hold of the ball and boots it clear. Roy's like, "What's the matter with Blackie? What's the matter with him?" The crowd's going, "Wake up, Gray. It's the afternoon now." So the game continues. But Mod Muldoon, who's playing at centre back, he seems to be slow off the mark as well. And Roy's going, "Strike a light. Mod's letting himself be foxed. Nomads are going through. What's going on?" So Nomads are through on goal, and Tubby's there, and like, "Oh, looks like Tubby's. Oh, is he with it as well?" And then somebody shouts, "Tubby!" But the ball's just floated in, and it goes straight into the net. And so Tubby didn't save it. He's asleep as well. He's tired. And one of the French crowd goes, "Zéroers are not so smart." And so that's bad enough. So they're one goal down, but then Blackie's having a go at Mod Muldoon, and Muldoon's having a go back at Blackie. And yeah, they're squaring up to each other. So yeah, things aren't going well for Rovers. Roy comes over, goes, "Have you two flipped your lids? What's the matter with you? Have your brains gone to your boots?" But then the game continues, and he's thinking, "Oh, we're up the creek." Tubby's played like a paralysed puppet in goal, and those other two goons suddenly hate the sight of each other. Anyway, he's created a chance. He's through, and he's thought, "Oh, okay." He passes it to Blackie. He thinks, surely he can't miss this one up. So he's laid it on the plate for Blackie. But before Blackie can get hold of the ball, Muldoon's intercepted it and goes, "Oh, I'll show Gray who's the better man." He hits a shot over the bar, and Blackie's there. "Oh, Muldoon, you big Irish twit." So you can tell they're all arguing with each other. Rovers aren't playing well, but after half time, Roy manages to get an equaliser. So it's 1-1. And then just before the end of the game, Ben Galloway's there. He's watching the game. And Williams passes back to Tubby. So Tubby's just about to collect it. And Ben's there thinking, "Oh, the Nomads are all over us again. Wait till I see Gray and Muldoon." Hello, Williams is having to pass back. "Wake up, Morton. Oh, my grief. He's asleep." And the ball goes straight into the net, and it's an own goal. Rovers are lost 2-1. And one of the players says, "You dozy drip," to Tubby. And another French person in the beret goes, "Viva! Rovers score for Nomads. Ha ha ha." So Rovers have defeated 2-1, and fans obviously over for the coming cup final. They're stunned. They go, "God, it's a right pantomime. Rovers play like wooden puppets." On this show, Netruno will play the pants off of Rovers in the European Cup. So they're in the showers, and Roy is really angry. He's going, "Tubby, Blackie, Mod, I want to see the three of you immediately afterwards. It better be before Ben Galloway. He'll tear you into strips." But then afterwards, they're outside the stadium, and Ben Galloway's there. He's going, "Well, Roy, where are those three clowns? I'll have them before the board." Roy's, "Well, they've left the change room. They can't have vanished." "Start a search," says Ben. "My oath, I'll make things so hot for them, they'll wish they could vanish." But then suddenly, there's a mascot dog there called Cookie, who I think was given to them previously whilst they were in France. And Roy goes to Bomber Reeve. He goes, "Quick, Bomber, give me the leash. Cookie is Blackie's best friend. This hound could lead us to him." "Chum, you better be right. I've never seen Ben Galloway so steamed up," says Bomber. Anyway, meanwhile, there's a florist somewhere else in Paris, and you see Muldoon, Blackie, and Tubby running away from the florist, and the florist going, "Monsieur, you forget your change. Ah, they are such a crazy hurry." So they're running with these flowers. They've all got a bunch of flowers, and Muldoon pushes Blackie out of the way. He goes, "Ah, age before beauty, you're old ugly." And so they're running out. They jump into two taxis and they're speeding off. Roy's following them with Kooky the dog. And Roy's thinking, "Oh, this in the same week as the cup final. Ben will have them up before the board. There'll be purple murder. I'll just have to try and straighten this mess out myself." So the taxis are speeding off. But Roy thinks, "Well, I need to catch up. But meanwhile, a sports car turns up and it's Bomber Reeves again. He's in this flashy sports car. Roy goes, "Bomber, am I glad to see you? Hit the throttle for the Mistral Film Studios. Those three film-struck clowns have gone haywire over Suzanne Cerise. Anything can happen." "I guessed it," says Bomber. "Hang on to your eyebrows." I don't know what's going to happen to his eyebrows. I don't know what happens to your eyebrows in the sports car. Anyway, they reach the Mistral Film Studios, and to picture the scene, there's loads of airplanes and there's like stunt airplanes flying around and people on the bottom of the trapeze and all sorts going on. Anyway, Blackie's there and he's panting and he's got his bunch of flowers in his arm, and there's a guy sitting on the bonnet of a car, and Blackie goes up to him and goes, "Excuse me, I have an appointment with Miss Cerise. Can you tell me where I can find her?" And this guy goes, "Sure, she's in the car, bud. I'll be delighted to make her acquaintance. She's kind of sleeping off her lunch." Next moment, "Suzanne, take the bunch of fungus from the limey gentleman and the big nerve. Tell him you prefer me." And then suddenly a tiger leaps from the back of this car at Blackie. And Blackie goes, "What? A tigress, Suzanne?" Yeah, because there's a tiger in the back of the car. Then the stuntman says, the tiger's now got, in the next panel, you can see the tiger's got a bunch of flowers in his mouth. And the stuntman, we find out he's a stuntman, he goes, "I'm Ed Garrett, and I look after the interests of both Suzannes. Get me? No one makes appointments without me knowing. I don't like interlopers." Yeah, Blackie goes there. "Maybe you wouldn't be so tough without that tiger to protect you." Anyway, somebody takes away the tiger. And they go, "Okay, if that's the way you want it, someone's taken away the tiger. So I'll say it again. I don't like interlopers." Meanwhile, Roy and Bomber Reeves, they reach the scene. Bomber's going, "Roy, did you hear that? I recognise that stuntman. He's Ed Garrett, Suzanne Cerise's business partner." Roy says, "Hurry, Bomber. Unless we do something, we'll be playing in the cup final with reserves." So Roy steps in, shakes Ed Garrett's hand and goes, "Hello, Mr. Garrett. We're here to see if Miss Cerise could organise a publicity football match between the stuntmen staff and ourselves. If she'd award a trophy, it would boost the film you're making as well as the European Cup final."
Clever.
So yeah, very clever. And that's what Bummery thinks as well, actually. Yeah. So not only have they had a exhibition charity match a week before the cup final, they're now having a match against the stuntmen.
Yeah.
So anyway, Roy's talking to Ben, and he's told Ben, and Ben's going, "Your idea had better work out. I'm sick of the sight of Gray, Muldoon, and Morton." And Roy's there saying, "Seeing Suzanne Cerise will encourage them to play well." It's clearly just infatuated, aren't they?
Yeah. You can see why.
Yeah. So you can see now they're about to kick off, and you've got Suzanne Cerise, a la Diana Ross in the 1994 World Cup final.
Yes.
She kicks off, and Blackie's going, "I'll show that plug ugly stunt ape Ed Garrett. I'll make him look like a cart horse taking part in a steeplechase." The game starts, and they're thinking, "Oh, Suzanne's watching. I'll put on a bit of a show." Anyway, Ed Garrett he's playing. He gets hold of the ball, and then Blackie comes in, and he gives him a real kind of tough challenge and shoulder charge. And Roy's thinking, "Oh no, Garrett isn't going to like that. Phew, look at his face. Maybe I haven't been so smart after all. So what's going to happen in this game?" So I'll flick through because I haven't got the next week. But anyway, what's happened in the game? Clearly, there's bad feeling in the game. And anyway, what we flash through a week later, and we've got a picture, and we've got Ed Garrett. He's in an aeroplane now. So him and Blackie are best of enemies or worst of enemies now, and he's swooping down. Blackie's in the river in a boat. He's like doing a bit of rowing on the river, and anyway, you see Ed Garrett. He rolls up a piece of paper and he throws it down. Roy's watching on the bank, and he can see all this going on. And Roy's going, "Oh, he's just flung something down to Blackie." And you see Ed in the cockpit of the plane going, "Not to panic, Gray. It's only a message, a kind of challenge. You made a monkey of me when I played against you in a scratch football match. I wonder if you'll have a nerve to match me in my game." So anyway, the story continues. Roy goes over to Blackie. He goes, "You okay, Blackie?" He's probably trying to hope to scare the pants off you. "What's that note? What does it say?" Blackie goes, "Just something personal. Leave it, Roy. It's my affair." Whereas, "Well, that's your opinion, but anything that affects the Rovers is mine too. You know we've got the game against Neutrino tomorrow, so this is the day before the game. Don't let anything affect the match, Blackie. You're not our manager's favourite pin-up boy." Blackie goes, I promise Rovers won't suffer. Now belt up." It's a bit strong here. Blackie's telling Roy to,
Yeah. We've had enough of him. He's
had enough.
He's focused on something else at the moment.
You can tell, yeah, you can say that again. So it's the next day, and Ben Galloway's having a few words. "Okay, that's the end of the pep talk. I've fixed the time for the coaches to take us to Paris. It's a tight schedule. I'll crack down hard on anybody who messes about." Anyway, they can't find Blackie. So Roy's running around trying to find him, and he's shouting out to the rest of the players, "Where is he? Mod, have you seen that prize clot?" I go, "No, Roy, we thought he was with you. Well, I know he's got his kit." Anyway, the buyer coach, and it goes, Ben's talking to Roy, and Roy's going, "Oh, he's probably gone by car. He won't let us down." Ben's, "Well, he better not." Anyway, next frame you see Blackie, and he's in his sports car, not Bombery sports car. I think his eyebrows are okay, but he's going very fast.
He's definitely going fast.
And he's thinking he's going fast, isn't he? He's going fast. "I couldn't back down before Garrard. I can still be in time for the match afterwards." Anyway, Rovers fans, you see the Rovers fans in the next panel turning up in their cars and buses and coaches. And they go, "Here come the cup winners, up the Rovers. Bonjour, alley-oop from Melchester." And you see a couple of gendarmes, and they're watching it, and it goes, "Ma foi, this is 4 hours before the match. C'est incredible." And the other one goes, "It's the storming of the Bastille all over again." So all the Rovers fans are turning up. Meanwhile, at the film studios, Blackie's turned up at the film studios, hasn't he? And there's Ed Garrett there, and he's, "So you've accepted my challenge, Gray. I'll be sporting enough to give you a chance to cry off. Don't bother. You challenged me to a parachute drop. Let's get it over. Time's short." Blackie means business. "You have got this straight. It's a delayed drop contest from 15,000. I know. Listen, I beat you at football, and I'll beat you at stunting too." So they're up in the air. This is the day of the European Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, this is just crazy, right? Yeah.
You think this is crazy? This actually happened. Can't believe it.
Well, no, but it's still crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you can see they're still in Paris because you got the obligatory shot, the Eiffel Tower and shot. So they're up in the airplane, and Garrett's going, "You're a stubborn guy. I'll give you that much. Stupid, but stubborn. I don't like you either, Garrett. And I'll drop further than you before opening my chute." But then on the field, suddenly one of the grounds people on the airfield says, "Andre, radio to the pilot. Stop those fools jumping. I've just heard the Met report. There's a squall blowing up. Sacre bleu. I'll give them the flash." I think that means, I don't think it's going to flash them. I don't think they'll see much from up there. Anyway, next shot, it's too late. Blackie and Ed Garrett have jumped. What's going to happen next? Well, we don't know because I haven't got that next week. But anyway, moving forward, now it's the European Cup final started. It's in the first half, and Rovers have chosen to play into the wind. And you can see there, as a commentator, that Roy Race looks a very worried man. His decision to kick against the wind in the first half could prove a fatal mistake. Blackie has turned up, by the way. He's turned up for the game. I do know that. And the crowd is shouting, "Neutrino, Neutrino." We're thinking another breakthrough. We've got to hold them. But just before half time, they score, and it's 1-0 to Neutrino. Oh, c'est magnifique. I know that's the second one. Sorry, yeah, because there's one goal already, so that's two. So yeah, Roy's there. That's
2-0.
two down, and we've almost run ourselves into the ground trying to get Neutrino out. So it's half
Wow.
time. Roy's thinking, what the Rovers need now is something to boost their morale. I've got an idea. It could cause a lot of trouble if it doesn't work. So a few minutes later, you see Suzanne Charisse walks into the dressing room, men half naked everywhere. And Roy goes, here's someone who will do you lads more good than a pep talk. Wow, Suzanne Charisse, just what we need to bring us some luck. And
Sorry,
Suzanne.
I'm just thinking the difference between Roy and Victor Boscovich.
Oh,
Victor
no, I was thinking
Boscovich
that,
has
yeah,
Big Daddy.
I think the Rovers had it slightly better. And Suzanne's there. She's, Missy Rose, you win for me, yes? I have a surprise for you if you do. I'm not quite sure what surprise she actually had in store.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, they're
Part
saying
in the film.
yes, mademoiselle. They're just saying yes, mademoiselle. That's fine. You can depend on us, Suzanne. Anyway, second half. So, and you've got the commentators there. This is fantastic. Melchester are playing like men inspired. That punishing first half doesn't seem to have worried them. Surely that they won't last this pace. Roy's grinning to himself. Neutrino, who played a fast first half, had the wind in their teeth now. If we can get them rattled, we've a fighting chance. Anyway, Blackie gets the ball. Suddenly he beats his man, whips it across to Roy. Oh, Roy's, it's a long one, but I'll try a shot. Glasses, yes, goal.
Yes!
The Roy race cannonball. Yo, fantastic.
What a shot that is.
Yeah, straight
Up the
in.
road.
And
Up the
straight from
Rovers.
up the road, straight from the kickoff. They equalise. It's
Oh,
2-2. Unbelievable. So now the crowd's getting a bit boisterous, and the Truno fans are cheering, Truno. But it's just a split second before the final whistle. The ball's played through. It's there, Blackie, you old son of a gun. You've done it. Blackie Gray
hey!
scored the winner. We've won the cup. We have won the
Wow.
cup. The European, and then you see the next panel, you've got Roy up on the shoulders. He goes, European Cup. It's ours for the first time. Blackie Gray has scored the
Wow.
winner, 3-2. And then there's the celebration party. So the last two panels, we go to a celebration party, and Suzanne Cerise, she's there, and she makes an announcement. And she says, Blackie, you will be our best man, yes? I love the Rovers. Mais alors, I can only marry a one man, Ed Garrard. And Ed's there. Sorry, Blackie, the worst man had to win. Blackie's there. Well, I'm blowed. And so the next day, you've got Roy there. He's talking to Ben Galloway. And Roy says, phew, now Blackie won't have Suzanne on his mind anymore. He can concentrate on football. And Ben says, quick, get him away from the bridesmaids, or I'll club him with the European Cup. But that's it. That's the story of when Melchester Rovers first won the European Cup, the first English team to win the European Cup.
Without doubt, completely.
Thanks to Blackie Gray and thanks to the lovely Suzanne Cerise.
Wow.
That's it. Back to you, Goal, aka Podfather.
Thank you very much. Oh, what a section that was. And that's part 2 of, well, what did you say?
Part
2.1?
2.1 out of, 50.6. It's going to be forever.
Yeah. That'll still be less than tangents sections. So
yeah, by miles.
But it's Blackie Gray, so you need to give him the time and time he deserves, the respect. Yeah, exactly.
Well, what a fantastic episode that's been. Some excellent sections this evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Are we looking at the dates of our upcoming ones? Or
so the next one will be in a couple of weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
This one will be a couple of weeks' time. Ian Golden Time Traveller, should be back. And we may have, I won't give the game away, but we may have a special guest for the next show. So look out for that. Say no more. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Bloody Greta Garbo.
It's not Greta Garbo.
I'll be coming back with a section for the first time in ages soon as well. So looking forward to that.
Is that Secret Wars?
No, no. Come on, it's been 4 years. I think I can leave it now, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Although when the Secret
It's a
Wars movie,
secret.
no, when the Secret Wars movie comes out next year,
Oh,
I might.
wow. There'll be no stopping him.
I know, I
Might
know.
have Suzanne Sarisa in it.
Oh,
Exactly.
I tell you
I
what,
had heard a rumor.
Mute Button, your accent, well, it was up there with listen very carefully. I shall say this only once.
Yeah, I modelled myself on Hello, Hello, or Peter Sellers, the
It,
Pink Panther.
it was
Yeah,
actually
Is
the
it? Oh, really?
English policeman in Hello Hello trying to do
yeah.
a French accent.
Good
Is it
moaning.
them? Is it them? Is it Minky?
Right, I think definitely time for us to move on.
Yeah,
Okay, shut this show
I
down.
think.
Come on,
Yeah, I think it's time
And
to.
due to offending everybody, we've got to rename the pod again.
yeah, yeah. Shh, don't say that's the only reason why we had to do it in the first place. Just to kind of stay away from the.
So they can't find us. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to wrap things up and to say our goodbyes and give our little bit of feedback of the episode. So let's begin with Bygone. Bygone, over to you. Did you enjoy that one?
I really enjoyed it, as I always do. It was a really, really good podcast. I enjoy the Blackie feature because I've never read them early stories. I was aware of him due to the Rovers playing years, but I've never seen the actual artwork as well. And it's all in black and white as well, obviously. It might not have been the main feature of the comic, then it went in colour. Um, as well. But yeah, a city story as well. That's what personally one of my favorite. Again, the artwork's fantastic, but I really enjoyed the city story as well, beginning to end. Like I agree with what you said. It's a shame it ended so early and we didn't get no more feedback on what happened to the characters afterwards.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, really enjoyed it. Thanks, Gul.
Thank you, Bygone Berrigan. Lovely as always. On to the tangential one. Time for
Uh,
your feedback.
Cheers. I thoroughly loved it because do you know something? That winter special, that's the one I don't have. So in actual fact, that's the first time I've seen that story. So thanks, Bygone,
Wow.
on that. And I have to admit, Bygone, you've got my memory cells going. I've kind of done a very little bit of research. I was thinking of Newton Oates, but maybe we'll discuss that off air
Well,
and then bring it into a pod. You know, when you said about the Western Villa, but I need to
yeah,
kind of refresh my memory on those. So indeed, enjoyed that. And of course, Melchester Rovers winning their first ever European Cup. Blackie Gray scoring the winner. You can't go wrong with that, can you? So loved every minute of it. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Can I just check something with you?
Mhm.
Did you actually just say you don't have an edition?
Mm.
So yeah, we have gone into this. I never was a collector actually of the specials. So
No.
I've got some missing summer specials and well, down to Bygone, I didn't actually know that's the one winter special. I wasn't aware that they'd done it that year. So I don't have that. I don't have that one. So yes, indeed.
Mm.
And as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see behind Tangent every single comic that has existed both on Earth and
I
on other
wish.
planets. And
I
of
really
course,
wish that was true, but yeah.
well, really, and of course, in about 20 years, when we're on episode 5002, we'll probably start making plans to open the British Football Comic Podcast Museum. So look out for your invites to that one. Over to me, button Matt Richards. Time for your goodbyes and feedback.
Yeah, no, really. I've never seen that winter special either, so I was really interested in that. So thanks a lot, Bygone. Thanks for sharing that. Brilliant. Yeah, City Story. I didn't read that at the time because I stopped buying the comic by then. But yeah, I've seen the City Story, and you're right. It's only lasted for a year. Seems a
Mm,
shame, really.
yeah.
That it did. But I love those. I love it when those kind of two worlds collide. That's brilliant stuff. Yeah, enjoy. Just last on the 1964 like European Cup. I mean, I'm pretty sure the artist would have been Paul Trevelyan then. You know, so
Right. Yeah.
the great Paul Trevelyan, who we'd lucky enough interviewed. And so I think it would have been written by Derek Burnage around then as well. The story in 1964. And brilliant. Yeah, loved it. Loved your hosting, Goal, and I thought your theme tunes are some of the best you've done so far.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Nobody can say no like that.
No.
All right, go on, ask me again.
Are we going to have a closing song?
Yeah. Yeah, we are. So when stories collide, they come together. If I'd only known I was going to sing at the end of this, I would have got a license sorted. The theme tunes will be back next time. Look forward to those. And you guys can take the mickey out of me again. Oh, it's me, isn't it? I do that every damn time. Sorry. Thank you, Mute. And it only remains for me to say thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you like the new name. And we will be back in 2 weeks' time for episode 124 of the British Football Comic Podcast. Good night.
Good night. Thanks.
Hiya.
Bye.